Last but not least, we have the amazing virtual Web3 guru. He'll probably hate the said guru.
I like the word guru.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Did you say last but not least, or did you say keynote speaker? I just didn't quite catch that, Chris. Sorry.
Well, any conference I've been the keynote speaker comes at the start, for sure.
Okay. This is my first time out of the house, so I didn't know that. The very last, and no one wants to listen to speaker. No, only joking. Thank you very much, Chris, for having me here. I've been a big fan of BelfastJS, and I'm also a big fan of your live stream. It kept me quite sane during the lock-in in Madrid, so thank you very much for doing that, and I've enjoyed being a part of your community and your #1 fan. So my name is Bill Gilmore. I'm here to speak to you today about Web3, this really new, exciting, and completely misunderstood technology. I'm here today to ask you to come on a journey with me and to take the red pill. That might seem a little bit cliche these days, but I feel like the Matrix is so old now that it's kind of coming back around to being cool again. And it very much is a choice now. There was no red pill. For people like me, people like Chris, most backend developers, as well as us front end, Web3 is a mystery and too complicated and just very, very strange technology that no one quite understands, and we're not really sure how to use it yet, but hopefully I can try and demystify that for you a little bit today. So here's a quote from a smarter person than me called Tim Ferriss. I've been listening to his podcast a lot recently. I think Web3 is not only better for the world, but it's going to beat Web2 because people get really excited when they can actually participate. And that's the message I want to get across to you today. Web3 is about us. It's about participation, and it's about us taking our freedom back and not being controlled by corporations. Usually at the start of a talk, I'd like to speak about myself for a good 10 or 15 minutes because it's my favorite topic, but I know you don't want to hear about that. One thing I do want to speak about today is a brief history of everything. Well, everything to do with the web, okay? So the web existed before the 90s, obviously, but in the web 1.0 really came to power in the 90s. It was a very simple system and it was full of innovation. We had things like Yahoo, where we could pull in our news, our sports feed, we could chat with our friends around the world. We had our Hotmail. We could send an email instantly. A letter was taking, weeks, maybe even longer, months to get to America. We could instantly communicate with our family and our friends around the world. It was a simple system and it was full of innovation. You can see the really easy diagram here. Little dude on the left makes his web page. He sends up the HTML to the web. Little dude on the right asks for the web page. He receives it back. So that was a nice, simple system, and it was full of innovation and full of creativity. Fast forward to the mid-90s, and we have this really breakthrough technology, Web 2.0. The internet becomes interesting in a lot of ways. We talked about Airbnb earlier on, actually, in that really interesting talk about frictionless design. It was a kind of a new site. You weren't just looking at something like Yahoo. You were able to build your own thing there. You could make your own property. You could add images. You could have a booking form. You could accept payments. This was the beginning of web applications, web apps. Facebook, social media started to arise. There was amazing sites called MiniClip here that ran on this beautiful technology called Flash that was killed by Apple. And I'm not going to get into that because I'm very upset about it. Best programming language ever, ActionScript 2. But this new Web 2.0, if we look at the diagram again of the little guys, it's more interesting. These guys and girls, of course, we're all talking to each other. We're exchanging ideas. We're able to create. We're able to share. But there's a problem here. If we look at this diagram, what is wrong with this little picture? It's the middle. The middle man is the corporation. It is the man. It is the machine. And it is the one that's in the middle of us. It decides what goes up. It decides what you see. And it has your power. It has your identity. It has your creations. So we waited around for a while, and to be honest, there was pretty much no innovation in web, in my opinion. Everything cool was happening in iOS, was happening in Android, and especially, in my opinion, in Xbox Live Arcade at this time. More platforms were more open to innovation, and that's why this closed system of web became a little bit stale, in my opinion. So then 2019 rolls around, and we have this amazing thing that's born called Bitcoin. Bitcoin, again, a completely misunderstood technology. It's a decentralized asset exchange. It's powered by a public ledger, which means when you send money to me or I send money to someone else, everybody else on the ledger can see that transaction, and it's actually verified by them. So the people who verify these transactions are called miners, and mining takes a little bit of electricity. So we reward them with a token, and that token is called a Bitcoin. And obviously, you're not going to get one Bitcoin for every transaction. Otherwise, we'd all be millionaires. That's crazy. But this was amazing. This is this huge mind shift, this amazing, amazing technological breakthrough, but it's not quite the Web3 revolution that we're waiting for. Roll on 2015. Oh, sorry, I thought that was a GIF. Roll on to 2015. Solidity is created and becomes the primary language of the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is basically like Bitcoin, but it's a little bit smarter. It can do more cool stuff. It has these things called smart contracts, which are like basically functions that fire on the blockchain. They live in the blockchain, they're executed on the blockchain, and they also have this great ability for token creation. So just like the Bitcoin, we said, we can create our own tokens, we can create our own currency, we can exchange it. This language is made primarily for like being controlling assets and passing them between each other in a safe and secure way. So it makes this like a concept where we can build decentralized applications, which are called dApps. And with this technology, we're sort of building towards this thing that I'm really, really excited about called a decentralized internet, a Web3, a third version of the web. So here's another quote for you. I think I missed my first quote. No, I didn't. Okay. Here's my second quote for you. This is from the CEO of Ava Labs. These guys are really, really, really big news at the minute. He says, "We stand poised at the beginning of a huge revolution." This is an interview with our CEO of Morales last week. Very, very inspirational stuff. And he is right. We are standing right on the edge. Sorry, I can't say that word, of something really, really huge and amazing and exciting. And the problem is that most of us don't understand it. So we've got a fact for you here. dApps are better than apps. That's just a straight up true Boolean. We're not going to argue with that, but let me explain to you why that is. So we've got kind of three sort of main SKUs or like parts of crypto that really excite me. There's actually a fourth part called a decentralized organization, but I think our COO, Philip, would talk to you better about that. I'm not as into that sort of thing, but because three sort of main aspects that really excite me. We've got the currency exchange, which means that I can sell you my services, I can sell you my property, I can get any sort of exchange of an asset from you in a secure way, in a way that I'm not being middleman, in a way that I'm not being tracked, and in a way that someone like a company, for example, your favorite payment system online, your pal, those guys, in a way that they're not going to skim off money and take away what I created and wanted to essentially sell to you. The second most important thing is the NFT. This is the most widely misunderstood thing about crypto. NFTs are basically, we're called non-fungible tokens, and it means anything that is completely unique. I'm going to have 3 slides about this in just 1 second, so bear with me. And the third thing is Web3, this concept of being free of the man, like having digital freedom, not needing to be tracked and turned into a product. I'm sure everyone here has an example of how you felt very productized by a social media. I have a few kind of really horrible examples of that I want to go into right now. Let's try and keep things positive. So why is Web3 really cool? This is what we're going to just recap on why is Web3 cool. We've got this digital freedom. We can create, we can research, we can share, we can interact without being tracked. We can stop these big companies from turning us into products. We have an open market where we can sell our products without being middled by these big companies. We can make secure payments on a network that is programmed for payments. It's not an afterthought like with the web. This thing has been made from the ground up for us to send secure payments to each other. And we can also sell physical objects like as NFTs. So I'm going to explain that in a second. But the best news about this, why is Web3 so cool, is if you're interested in this right now, you're an early adopter. The industry isn't here. The big players aren't here. This is a hacker crypto space, and you are going to be like, if you're in now, you're in early, and that's the best time to be on a technical revolution. So let's have a quick look at 3 NFTs. Let me explain this to you a little better. What is an NFT? It's a non-fungible token. It's a piece of art, but it lives in the blockchain. It doesn't necessarily have to be art. It's an executable program, perhaps. It can represent something in real life. It can almost kind of be anything if you think about it in a way. So these Bored Yacht Club guys, this example, they made 10,000 pieces of art. And these pieces of art are these weird ass monkeys. You can kind of see one in the background here. There's a captain monkey above the door. These things are insanely popular. One sold today on the OpenSea market for $3,000, and that was a mistake. That was meant to sell for $300,000, and the person accidentally typed in 3,000. So that's just how crypto works, people. If you're stupid, you're going to give your money away. Like, it's going to happen. You know, like there's 100 people lining up to scam you, and this technology requires you to be just not a dumbass. You know, it's not user proof yet. Like we're kind of, the industry is building. So maybe some of you UX designers can kind of think of a way to make things a little bit more secure for people. But yeah, it's basically like, if you're stupid enough to do things like that, if you give away your Ether to someone, if you open your wallet and hand £10 to someone on the street, it's the same thing. You're not going to see it again. But these things are very, very popular. It's given a way for artists to sell their work in a way they could never do before. It's given a way of artists to value their work. What value would this artist have got from his work? He would have displayed it on a Web2 website. He would have had adverts, maybe like 2 or 3 clicker adverts from Google. He would have made pennies on this per year, maybe pounds, maybe enough to go out for dinner. Now you can make these pieces of art. They're completely unique. They're exciting because they're NFTs, and you can sell them online. Now let's take it up a step. This NFT website is selling property. So these people have bought their real estate, or you can sell your real estate on there. You make that into a token, you make it into an NFT, and then you're able to sell it through this property. So through this website. So if we can sell property as an NFT, we can sell art as an NFT, we can sell music as an NFT. You could sell tickets to a concert as an NFT. You could sell items for a video game as an NFT. We need to open our minds up to how programmable these things are and how much of an important asset this is going to be to our future. Let's move on to another one. Here's another website called Avogotchi. Avogotchi is your character, your avatar is your NFT. When you first get it, it's worth absolutely nothing. It's the same as everybody else's. The game you have to spend time in, and as you go around the game, you collect collectibles. You add them to your character. You can see one has a little token in the middle of his head, like a rune. One has a unicorn on his head. So you're collecting these collectibles, you're augmenting your avatar. Once your avatar, you've played the game for so long, it becomes worth a lot of money. I'm sure everyone here has played an online video game for 100+ hours. Imagine at the end of that, you could take your character and sell it to a noob who doesn't have time, but wants to get an end level character. All that time you wasted in that game suddenly becomes worth money, because these things are like something unique that you've created yourself. You created that character, you trained him, her, you augmented him or her, and then you want to sell it on to someone else. So this is the sort of open market that this Web3 technology is offering us. So what the hell is the holdup? Like, why has this been since 2015 and like no one is doing anything already? Like, why is this moving at the speed of a turtle? Well, here's time for some real facts, people. dApps are the opposite business model of most businesses online. So they're not interested in supporting like an industry that is going to like take away destroy their business model. Big data companies don't want us to take back the power, so they don't invest in the technology. Like if you don't upload all of your information to these big data companies and these social networks, they actually don't have any collateral, any value. So like that's why they're not going to support this. Programming, and most of all here, these are the two big ones really. Programming on blockchain was like an open sea, and if you're an investor and like you have a big business, you don't want to put a lot of your assets into this new technology that nobody really understands and no one's quite sure what it's for yet. So that's kind of understandable. And the final thing, the really main problem, is that programming on blockchain is really hard, really, really difficult. I've been researching it for months. I've been learning more and more and more. And I can honestly say to you that the people I work with, some of the things that they say to me, I actually just don't even understand. It's a completely different language. It's basically impossible for a front-end developer to be involved. Enter Morales. So this is why I'm here with you today. This is the company that I work for. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not here trying to pitch this because we're making money. I'm trying here to pitch this to you because I'm a front-end developer. I am seriously excited about this. And I think if we all got a bit more excited about Web3, we could change the world very quickly. This is basically like a platform where you can log in and it's going to take out all of the back end, all of the crypto knowledge, all of the things that you don't have time to learn, and make it just simple, ready to go for you. So like, what does a dApp need? And to be honest, like, what does an app need? These are common things that every single application needs. You need user login. You need to get your balances of your user. You need to maybe get their transaction history. More in dApps, really, like we can have smart contract events. You might need to track real-time data on an app or a dApp. You're going to need a server. You're going to need a database. You're going to need to build your own backend. Really focused towards Web3 again here. You're going to need an API for your RPC node. And all of this stuff is going to need maintained, debugged, and scaled. And honestly, it's very near impossible. But thankfully, Morales is an answer for this. Our CEO, Ivan, Philip, and Lizette have done an amazing job, like making this team of like incredibly talented people who have made this like one click for you, okay? So let me just say this little quote from our CEO, Ivan on Tech. Moralis server and Moralis SDK, think the Firebase of crypto. Now, if any front-end developers right here thinking that hearing the Firebase of crypto and not feeling excited about that, I really like, you should probably just leave the talk. I don't know what you're doing here anymore, because this is like, Firebase is like the best technology that we got as front-end developers. And now someone's saying to you, hey, see for free, why don't you not give that to Google? And why don't you put it on this new technology and be part of the revolution? It's like, it's a win-win. So you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, you told me about Moralis, I'm interested in Web3, like what's next? Like I can tell you, we've got this really great free service. You can have up to 3 servers. So basically it's exactly like Firebase. You can build for free, you can scale for free. Once you start bringing in so many users that like, you know, you're crushing it and you're getting loads and loads and loads of requests, you can scale up. It's no problem. It's super easy to do. I'm a little bit sad to say this, Dermot, I had to add the second bullet point for you. No docs. Like what? Well, like we love the docs. Developers love the docs. We've got killer docs. I put it in capital letters for you, Dermot. We need those docs fixed up. I was really interested in your talk, but man, I need docs. Also, we got this amazing Discord, this really beautiful, supportive community. I'm on my journey as well as a Web3 developer. I obviously have spent 10 years in front end, but I don't really understand everything. I don't really know very much about Solidity development. I'm on here with these kids learning every day, and they're super supportive and they're really, really nice. And we have a really great community. We have weekly live streams from our CEO. We have weekly competitions where we give away our NFTs. We have a YouTube that has literally everything you need to learn from start to finish, how to use our software, how to use other platforms that integrate with it. We have this academy, which like you can sign up to. It is like a paid service, but you can basically go from someone who doesn't write code to a finished Web3 developer. It's like these, I'm using the Solidity smart contract programming tutorial at the minute on the academy. It's brilliant. We actually have like hackathons so regularly in this space. If you're at a Web2 hackathon, like what are you getting? Like a sticker and a mug and a t-shirt, like big whoop. Like our latest hackathon is $500,000 in prize funds. Like this, the Web3 space is full of opportunity, guys. And if you're not excited about like, you know, great opportunity and great prizes and great hackathons, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, the boilerplates as well. The last thing I want to speak about today is our boilerplates. So getting started with these things, again, it can be really difficult. We have a beautiful suite of boilerplates for you. If you want to program in JavaScript, we have the JavaScript. If you want to go React Native, we have that. If you want React, we have that. If you're a Unity developer, we have a Unity boilerplate as well. Everything is ready for you to go. All you need to do is put your design, your front end, your passion into these projects. They're really like, you know, instead of saying to yourself, like, why would I use Web3? Like, I think that we should probably try to have more of like a cultural shift towards thinking like, why would I not? Why would I not want to decentralize my information? Why am I giving all of my data and giving all of my value to these big 5 companies? Yeah, I think we just need to sort of shift our minds and like move towards the future a little bit from that. So you might be asking, like, you know, what are you still waiting for? And by the way, this is one of our little NFT guys in the bottom corner. We do these like board mages, or mages, like our wizards, as kind of like our thing. So yeah, there's actually a little link down there if you want to see him for sale. He's on tinyurl.com/Moralis Morpheus. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Web3 is here. It's 2 clicks away. And I hope to see you on the Discord server. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Bill. Just wanted to call it more like, you know, the hackathon Bill was talking about there in his company. It's something like crazy, like $500,000 or something is one of the prizes for the hackathon. It's like crazy, insane the stuff that they're doing.
There's so much opportunity in this industry right now. Like it is, we're crying out for people to come and have a go, you know, and just change the world, make that one killer app. You just don't know like what one thing will break through. And another really cool thing about the industry is no one's doing any marketing. It's just viral marketing. Like we're all so passionate about the crypto. Like you post up, like one of the companies will repost it. Every crypto punk will give it a go. Every crypto punk will repost it. Like it's a really, really viral community right now. So if you have an idea and you can bring it to market, you're going to get support. It's not like every other Web2 app that just disappears into the flipping Appleverse of their iStore, whoever they decide to like support, you know.
That's it. I've decided I'm making Tinder for dogs on Web3 tonight.
Yeah, boy.
I'm going to market it. So we get back to normal broadcasting. We have a couple of questions here. So in terms of crypto exchanges and like, do you have concerns around the carbon footprint of how, like, because it's all driven
by electricity?
Yeah,
there's a lot of work in that space. I'm actually not the right person to talk on that, actually, to be honest with you, but I did listen to our CEO the other day who said there is a lot of work towards greener crypto, and there's a way to do that. Instead of like validating per, he had a term for it. There's two different terms, and they're like, there's basically a more intense way to do it, which is more secure, and there's a more kind of like batched way to do it, and they're kind of working towards that. And yeah, there is really a lot of very green noise. I think that's something that we're kind of hyper aware of, and there's a lot of movement towards that. But that's kind of the thing is, like, if you have this like beautiful technology, you need to make it accessible, first of all, which is why I'm so passionate about Moralis. I feel like they're making this technology accessible, but you need to get the people excited about it, because we need the people who care about green so much, to come in here and say, this is what I can bring. I'm the green guy. I'm the guy who really understands electricity and really understands like the processes of a computer. Like I'll jump in now and be part of this. So it really takes the people to build the city,
Yeah, and like in reality, we're all probably using AWS data centers that are burning fossil fuels like crazy and ruining the environment anyway as it is. So this is like, get people in third stage.
Yeah, definitely. There's more innovation to be sure, but hopefully that will come from the community. Like, I mean, I don't think that any one person can change the world, but given the right tool set, which I think this really is a tool set to literally change the world. I think it's on us to do it. Like.
We got another one just came through there. Actually, it was really interesting. It's like, are there any cool project stories that Moralis, like someone who used Moralis, like kind of like a success story kind of thing?
Web3. Am I still sharing?
Yeah, you're still sharing. Yeah,
I am. Right, okay. What's the guy called? Weeb. There he is. Worldwide Weeb. Worldwide Web3, that's it. So this is like an online NFT video game that was built with our technology, and we play it a lot. So yeah, it's like you log in with Metamask, obviously. I don't know, maybe that's not obvious, but we all use this. I'm not going to open my Metamask in front of everybody. That's a bad idea. Yeah, we use this login wallet system called Metamask, and here it is. Like, I mean, look how beautiful this is. The guy's like actually like made all this handmade pixel art for it. And yeah, you log in, this is your character, and wow, he's improved it. Okay, so looks like there's an introduction now. You used to just like spawn into the hub world. It looks like I have a tutorial to play now. He's improved it. You spawn in the hub world, and there's just all these people running around like crazy, and most of them are naked because they haven't unlocked any clothes yet. So, but that's your NFT. Your player is your NFT in that, and what you need to do in the same way as Aavegotchi is go around. You complete these missions, you unlock currency, use the currency to buy clothes. You can import things like your Aavegotchis and your Bored Ape memes. You can bring them in here. Yeah, it's just like a cool sort of online story-driven RPG.
Yeah, it's interesting you kind of talk like this because like leading to our question we got through, we're like a lot of this like NFT thing became like this is a way for digital artists to sell their art, which then just became a trading card platform, like people selling like people used to sell Pokemon cards back in the day. Now it's like trading NFTs, and I always felt very money driven. But like NFTs aren't, from what I gather here, isn't just money driven. It's about building an experience where you can like share materials but not have to use one shared platform to share that material.
Exactly. And it's also not like it's the image thing, right? It's kind of like, think back to when the web started in the 90s. Everybody was making these websites that had like, crazy pictures that like shivered from side to side and like, hey, look at my font. And people didn't really know what the technology was or like what to do with it. So they're like, hey, look, I'm being artistic, and that's cool. Like they're being hackers and they're making their own thing. But that's kind of where we're at right now. People are just starting to understand the even like honestly, until like I started working at Moralis, I didn't get what an NFT was. I own 192 engine coin. I have no idea what the hell an NFT is. But I learned about it and I realized that it's like this, it's basically like the web page of the 90s. You can do whatever you want with it. It's programmable. It's hackable. Not hackable in a bad way. More like you can build upon it. Like you get your base and you can like add whatever you want to it. It can almost be anything. Like it is the web page of the 20s.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I mint and do whatever. And I have a Coinbase wallet, and I am so out of the crypto space at the moment.
Go
But
check them, man. They've
hopefully,
gone up.
yes, I'm gonna sign up and build it
Nice.
to do app and where else, and it'll be the next biggest thing. And
Don't
okay,
build it
so
to do app.
too many out there already. So the last one
We
we
love
have
them.
here is, going from the Web 2 to the Web 3 world, like what were the biggest like hurdles you had to like overcome? Like, what was like the blockers and the big things like you struggle so badly with?
Like honestly, like as far as like development goes now, it nothing. Like what you're doing in Firebase as a front end developer is what you're doing in Morales as a front end developer. It is just like I'm just writing JavaScript and HTML and CSS now. That's not the hard part. The hard part was like honestly like getting my mind around, and I'll be totally honest with you, I don't even think I'm there. Like I'm trying to get my mind around like what is this revolution? Why are these people so excited about it? Like these people they're not just like, crypto bullish fucking idiots on Twitter going, pump Bitcoin, I want more money. Like these are people who are like industry savvy professionals who are on these podcasts that I listen to a lot now. And they're really, really excited about it. They understand it more than I do. And I'm still trying to get my head around it. But like, that's a really important thing. Yeah, I can't just say to myself, this is complicated, so I don't understand it. Just keep feeding me, please, big companies. Like it's on me to go, okay, I need to listen to more podcasts. I need to read some more on the web. I need to be maybe mixing in some different circles and try to understand this really obviously important technological revolution.
Awesome. No, yeah, it's amazing. There's a lot of possibilities there. I think it's really cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, Bill. To
Thank
close off
you.
our
Thanks for
first
having me,
night.
everybody.